Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Let's take another look at XRP, see what's going on. It's been a couple of days since we last looked at this here. We'll have to update our fib levels and kind of see where we're at, but the overall sentiment is still not phenomenal. I don't love the price action here, just based on how hard it sold off here recently. But once more, you never always, you never get what you want out of trading. You can always come close, right? That's about the best case scenario right now. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna talk a little bit about this descending trend, the potential for it to break out, of course, and more importantly, the macro structure, which is looking honestly not very good. So just kind of throwing it out there. I'm not going into this with like a bias of taking longs versus shorts. I mean, I am leaning a little more towards a short position when the price goes up a little higher, but it's only based on my premise of Bitcoin filling a CME gap and pulling back. If that were to happen, I think we're going to see a similar price structure for XRP. This coin is not really overperforming by any stretch. So we're going to take a look at the back end data first, kind of go from there. And if you are part of my community, thank you again for the awesome feedback. Our Cornix trading bot's been killing it recently. My day trading strategy scalping bot, we're up about 660 on a $1,000 portfolio. $50 per trade over the last 42 days. It's been a pretty significantly beneficial situation for our community. So happy to be able to provide a passive income source for you. If you have any questions on that and you're not part of our community, cryptocash.tech is a site, link down below. Feel free to reach out. Don't hesitate to direct message me. Just know I'll never direct message you first. There's way too many scammers out there that are impersonating me, and it sucks, but nothing I can do about it. Okay, so XRP. Liquidation, see a significant range of at 240 to 230. So I would say that, again, just loosely spitting out here some random facts. Those are areas I like to consider shorting. Usually when upper or lower liquidation levels are hit, I like to take longs or shorts at those levels. So hypothetically right now, simply just a bumper sticker thought process, 240 seems like an appropriate area to consider shorting because there's confluence there. It's a local high. It's an area we spend a lot of time consolidating. If we get back there, probably going to see some rejection there initially. We take a look here, we can see from a macro perspective as well, 240-ish. We have a decent amount of liquidation. Each one of these bars is about $300-400 million, so there's quite a lot there, okay? But between now and then, kind of sparse, nothing super significant. Liquidation delta is telling us that we have more people shorting this coin than taking longs. My speculation, and this is the same speculation based on, again, Bitcoin and a lot of other altcoins, we see this behavior a lot. In other words, when there's too many shorts in the market, they usually get destroyed because they've been shorting for too long. Like they're trying to hold their shorts forever. Like imagine being a short trader that opened a trade 3 days ago. You're in super profit and you still have your stinking position open. That is so stupid. Only because this market gives and takes opportunities quickly, right? So shorting to the ground floor or taking along to the moon is not something you should have in your vocabulary any longer. If you're watching somebody else that says those words, you may not want to trust them because they're probably just emotional idiots, okay? And that's the nice way I like to put it for people that are, acting on, just like feeling like this is like their favorite coin and I'm going to just do something stupid because of it. Favorite coin or not, if you use logic when trading, you're going to be a lot better off versus emotion. Easier said than done. I talk about that in my Trading Academy. Feel free to check that out. If you're part of our community already, you'll know. I discuss how important it is to be healthy in your mind and body in order to be a good trader. Okay, so 220 to 230, we got a lot of open interest in this range. So we're kind of in the middle here. So we got this resistance at 230. That's pretty much one of the highest local areas of open interest, implying that there's going to be exit liquidity when we get to that area. Okay, so people, if the price were to go to 230, whoever's underwater there that bought that local dip, they're going to get out of their position. It'll push the price down. That's going to be our initial resistance is 230. But we got some confluence in support below us at 213 to 220, so that's kind of nice. You don't necessarily want to short into a lot of open interest or a lot of volume. So there's a good amount of volume accumulation. And as we, we're kind of zoomed out for this is roughly about a month's worth of trading. You can see here, the most amount of position we have is at 220. So people are averaged in at 220 the most in XRP. I'd be willing to guess that you might be averaged in at 220 if you're watching this. That's just kind of a common area that people have added to their position the most. And if you zoom out a little bit too and kind of look at this here, this is the macro perspective. Ever since we've been above, December 1st? Since December 1st, we've seen the most amount of volume at 240. Okay, so 220 is the local support, but 240 is like the macro resistance. So once more, that speaks to the open interest at 240, the liquidation rather, at 240, which is why I would lean a little bit more towards shorting that area because we're going to see some resistance there if the price recovers to that range. Okay, those are just things I like to look for. It's never an exact science. That may never come to pass. a lot of ships sail and you don't even get to meet your opportunity. It doesn't mean you FOMO in though, folks. That's the important thing. People don't seem to realize that opportunity is going to pass you every day. It's just an opportunistic market, and you're going to miss every single one of them. But the better thing to do is to miss a bad opportunity than to try to FOMO into something that looks good and turns bad, right? Anyways, daily time frame, we're still under 50 on the RSI, stochastic swinging down, MACD trying to converge. We're under all moving averages. Just as per usual, every single coin reflects this. It's not really worth taking a trade. To the upside, just based on how much selling pressure we have, volume isn't really where we want it to be. We look at this macro structure too, we can see here that the previous low, the lowest point we've gone before recently here is 206. While we're back up above that, it kind of reinforces that 206 to 195 is that support range. If we ever close below that, it could be cause for concern. If we take a look at the weekly too, we can see here there's a significant amount of fair value still left to the downside, but more importantly, we've never closed below 210. I'm kind of rounding up, but 210 is that area there. So the simple way to understand it, if we drop below 210, there's a decent chance we'll see further downside based on us losing that macro that macro structure, that break of structure, essentially what would be happening. 4-hour time frame, this is where we look for a transition. Generally, we want to see being above 50 on the RSI, which we are tentatively at this point. This is good. We're above the SMA as well, and the money flow index is kind of behind. So I don't love the MFI below the price, or the RSI rather. I think that kind of shows weakness, whereas it's overbought, and we don't have enough money to back that up, and it usually turns around. However, we do have this potential break of structure. So we zoom in here, we can see the local high. Highest point which we've gone before is 221. We're now above that. We close above that level. Decent chance we see that bullish back test and the price goes higher. Okay, so I am tentatively bullish on XRP on the shorter time frames. I think we have a good structure on the 4-hour, but do not mistake yourself or mistake the macro structure. It's still bearish for this coin and most altcoins in the market. Okay, so don't think that it's a terrible situation, but it's certainly not phenomenal. Ichimoku cloud, we're above the cloud, lagging spans tentatively free and clear on the conversion lines above the baseline. This kind of reinforces the short-term trend reversal, where we're going to probably see the price move towards that 240 mark. I'm expecting 240 to be a significant resistance for us. I'm in fact going to go ahead and adjust my previous alert to 240. If the price comes up to that level, then I'd be willing to kind of see if it may be worth considering a short position at that time. I'm hoping that Bitcoin is at 84 to 86,000 if that were to come to pass, concurrent with 240 here on XRP, and basically just short both of them, right? That's the general idea. Now that may never happen, but if that does come to happen, that the odds of success are higher just based on that being a significant area of resistance with that exit liquidity and the open interest area too. So there's a lot of little things that kind of factor in, but for the most part, I'm short-term biased towards the upside and macro biased to the downside, and I'm hoping for a consideration on a short at 240. I don't really want to take a long right now because we already have 3 long positions open with Bitcoin, Near Protocol, and Avalanche. If you want to watch those videos, I released them today, of course, just kind of explaining why I took the trades that I take, so you understand kind of what goes into my mindset whenever I take trades. If you want to be part of our Trading Academy Community and Signals group, you can. I have trade alerts kind of every time I provide a signal, I give you an update on why I'm taking the trades. Premium Plus has been demolishing the market right now with some nice scalps. So cool stuff there. Awesome, beneficial. Perfect? No. But excellent? Yes. I love it. Anyways, thanks again for being an amazing part of my life. I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take good care of yourself. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.